March comes in like a lion. As I've been saying, is spectacular. And it really saddens me. It saddens me so much to know that this series is so underrated. Not many talk about it. It's a series that, from this season, fall, that not many really care about. And even when season 1 came out, I remember it was a series that not many cared about. And it sucks. It really sucks because it is definitely one of the best shows of this year. Not gonna lie, it is easily one of the best shows, and it saddens me that many just, sweep this series under the rug just because it's a slice life series about shogi. And I understand that doesn't sound really appealing when you compare it to something like Boku no Hero Academia or, something like One Piece, Tokyo Ghoul. You get my point. It doesn't sound as thrilling, but it's the story, it's the characters that really bring me back and why I love this series so much, and I just wish more people would give this series a chance. It saddens me, it really does. But anyways, getting on topic though, this episode, man, Rei's character development. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time, even since season 1, okay? I've been pointing out how much he has changed, how he continues to change as a person, and that's one of the big things that, brings me back, why I'm drawn to this series, why I keep coming back every single week to watch this series, and why I'm so excited for season 2, is because of the character development, the progression of the characters, and how they change over time, how there is a very good sense of a flow of time, how time does feel like it is moving in this series, and characters do change, they do develop by the day, by the month, and by the year. We see this, and that's exactly what happened in this episode. Once again, Rei proving how much he has changed as a person since the start of the series. Rei, when he first met the sisters, he was someone, even in parts of season 2, he kind of started slightly still acting like that, but he's changed a lot since then. But at the beginning of season 1, even throughout the entirety of season 1, he was someone that constantly questioned, should he even visit the sisters? Should he even go over there and mess with them? He always thought he was the outcast, the stranger. You shouldn't go over there, you shouldn't bug them, and so he distanced himself from the sisters. He didn't want to get too close to them because he didn't want to ruin them, he didn't want to harm them in any way, he didn't want to, overstay his welcome, he just didn't want to do that, and so that's why he constantly was always debating within himself, like, he shouldn't bug them too much, and why he never really wanted to go over to their house was because of that. He cherished them, he loved them, he cared about them, they were nice to him, but he just didn't want to overstay his welcome, and so that is why he always isolated himself, why he didn't want to go over there. And so, in this episode, we see how much he has changed since then. A character that once didn't want to interact with them at all, not because he hated them, because he didn't want to bug them, now went out of his way to search across a whole nother different town just to find someone, one of the sisters, to find Hina and help her out through her troubles. That right there shows how much he has changed. Because if we would have looked at Rei back in, season 1, he wouldn't have done that. He would not have went out of his way to help out Hina. Not because he was an awful person, not because he doesn't care about Hina, but because he lacks self-worth. He is someone that looks down on himself. He is someone that feels like he can't help at all, and so he would never have went out of his way to help others out. But in this episode, regardless of how he once was, he has changed, and he went out of his way to help out Hina, which once again proves he has definitely become a changed man. So, what did he do? Well, Hina, as we know, she's been going through her own, character arc and all of that. She's been experiencing the aspect of bullying. She's been getting isolated, pushed away, people ignoring her, teachers not really helping, just overall, she's having a very horrible time right now. Her life is basically taking a nosedive, which is understandable why she'd be very depressed, upset, sick, whatever. It makes a lot of sense. Anyone would be. I mean, regardless of your thought process and how you feel about it or how you should handle it, you'd probably be upset too if you're isolated. Because as I said already in a previous video, actually, I uploaded today on, Ancient Magus' Bride, us humans, we are social creatures. We seek interaction with others, and if we're isolated, we don't know how to cope with that. In the discussion, we don't really know how to cope. I mean, you may say you isolate yourself and you go on the internet and all that, but that's still, socializing with people. Even though it's a different type of socialization, you're still going out of your way, and you're technically interacting with people in the comment section on social media, so you're still technically interacting with people. So, us human beings, we seek interaction. And if we don't have that, we become very isolated, very cold, lonely. We don't really know what to do. And in some cases, if you're without people for a very long time, you can go crazy. That is a thing. You will go crazy if you are without people for a very long time. So in this case, it's to show that she has been going through a lot. She's been getting isolated. Nobody really wants to talk with her because they're in fear that they will be just like her if they were to interact with her. And so she's in a spot right now to where she's just trapped. She doesn't know what to do. She's like in a box and she can't get out of it at all. And if Rei was to go up and try to do something, it wouldn't really help out. If, you know, the teachers were to get talked to by the parent or whatever, or, you know, the other sister, you know, Akari, it wouldn't really help out at all as well. So just when you look at all these little things, it's a very complicated issue. It's not something that can just end like that. And since Rei has experienced this already himself, he has been in this spot when he was growing up, and just recently he actually started to make his way out of this hole. Recently, season 1 recently, he now knows how it feels to be in the darkness, but then pulled out of the darkness. He knows that feeling. He understands that feeling. He knows how it feels to be trapped in a box and not able to escape at all. And so he doesn't want Hina to feel like that. He's using his own isolation, his own problems he's experienced in his life to be able to help out Hina for she could be able to be happy once again. And that's how he even goes out of his way to find her. How he realizes where she's at is because of his own isolation. When he looks around, he sees, you know, Hina's, you know, school classmates or whatever that are wearing her same uniform. He realized that she would not be here, because if she is getting isolated and all that, it's very apparent she wouldn't be around them, because she doesn't want to be around them because it's just so awkward and make her feel even worse. So she would go off a very far distance just to be away from them. And in this case, since Rei has been paying attention constantly to her and been watching over her, it's obvious he would understand that she would want to go near a river or something to be able to just, you know, sit down and just, you know, relieve herself where she wouldn't be so stressed anymore. And so in this case, that's basically what's going on here. Rei realized that she would be near a river, and that's how he found her, using his own isolation. So I like that. I really like that aspect, and how he's using his own problems from the past to be able to overcome and help out someone else. That right there, that just shows how you can learn from your past and better someone else in their future. That's something how we are in real life. That's what we do. I mean, if someone in this world experiences something that's very bad and they go through a horrible ordeal, many times they might want to set up some form of like fundraiser for those individuals that, you know, that are going through what, you know, the person went through, and to help them out. In this case, that's what probably Rei is doing. He's helping out Hina, trying to make sure she smiles once again, which just shows how much of a bro he really is. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That was a really nice little segment. So let's talk about the Shogi tournament. So the newcomer tournament. I got trolled. I thought Rei lost for a second there. I actually thought he lost, but he won. He won in the end, which puts a smile on my face to know he got that far, and he managed to actually, you know, win the tournament. He is the newcomer king and all that, which puts a smile on my face. But here's the thing I want to point out. Even though he won the tournament, he didn't focus on his win. He rushed straight to Hina. That's sweet. That's very sweet. That's very sweet. He didn't focus on himself. He didn't take time to just focus on his victory and all that. He rushed over to try to think about Hina and to help her out. That is probably one of the sweetest things you can do for someone. So Rei's character development, spot on. So Nikaido for a second. Let's talk about him. So Rei doesn't visit Nikaido in this episode, which makes a lot of sense, because as we know from the last episode, Nikaido didn't want Rei to ever see him in that condition. Even though Rei knows the truth, and even if Nikaido knows maybe Rei knows the truth, he doesn't want Rei to see him like he is, because it would ruin what he's tried so hard to build up. This rivalry between these two, it would be ruined if Rei was to go in and see him like that. So he doesn't want Rei to see him in the hospital or sick in bed or whatever. He wants Rei to continue to look at him as this bubbly dude that always wants to be the rival of him. That's what he wants, you know, Rei to think of. And so I like that. I like how Rei didn't go and visit Nikaido. Even though it sounds cruel, it was actually a good thing. He was respecting Nikaido's wishes and respecting him as a person to not go and visit him and ruin that image that they actually both have. So yeah, that's about it when it comes to this week's episode of March Comes In Like a Lion. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please leave a like. And one last thing before I end this video, many Chibits have been telling me this week that they've been having some problems with notifications, and so if you're having any problems with receiving my videos and all of that, well, next to the subscribe button there is a bell icon. Click that, and you'll be able to get notifications. Now, let's say you're not having problems with me, okay? Let's say you're still getting notifications from me, and even if you're not, and you don't care about, getting notifications from me, but you care about getting other notifications from other individuals, the bell icon still applies to them as well. So if you're not getting notifications from another YouTube channel, and you've been wondering why, hit the bell icon, and you'll be able to do that, because even if you don't care about me, you don't care about my content, you don't want to get notifications from me, I'm just saying right now, at least do it for the others you care about, because it'll help them out a lot. So I want to end it there. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.